Hello, Music Man here. I'm back and better than ever. So what am I going to talk about today? Pain. How pain brings clarity and focus to your life. Let's talk right now. Coming at you, Music Man. So you're one of these people that you're still deep in debt. You're deep in mortgage debt. You own more house than you can afford now. Because we're doing the same thing again. You bought yourself a couple of big gas hogging SUVs. You're feeling pretty accomplished right now. Well, things can change really fast in an incredible hurry. And I discovered that this last week. My wife and I decided to go to Canada for vacation this year. And so, yeah, why not? Let's go to Canada. So we went to Victoria, these beautiful gardens of flowers. It's called the Butterfly and the Butcher Gardens. And we're having a great time. The night before, I was throwing a football with a teenager in a park in Seattle and having a great time. And the next day, I'm walking and trying to get around a hustle bustle of people. I felt like I was at Disneyland, if you know what I mean, and enjoying the flowers. And I missed a step. And when I miss the step, I'm not one of these graceful fallers. At my age, you hang on for life when you go to fall. So I jarred my back. And then I went through a week of the worst pain I've had in a long time. Probably the worst pain I've ever had. I've had sciatica pain, where the nerve gets pinched in your leg. This was right up there. I mean, just unrelenting and godly pain. And it brings clarity as I'm laying there and my back is spasming and tightening. And I realized something. Now, when I don't remember these things happen to me in my teen years and in my 20s. I mean, I'm sure they did. I played football and hurt myself constantly. You know, this finger's from football, and I'm sure I remember pulling muscles and spraining muscles and shin splints from running in cross country and track and field. This is pain like I had never experienced before. Just unbelievable, wrenching, ungodly pain. It was 8 or higher. I went into a clinic in Canada, sat there and watched all these people and being let in. And people that came in with me with acute pain were seen the same as everybody else. So, you had to sit there and wait your turn, even though your back was spasming women would understand it's like a contraction. People that just came in for an appointment went ahead of you. People that weren't in acute pain. And it's probably the same here in the States. I don't really know. I've just never had to wait that long. I had to wait like 4 hours sitting there. And finally they got me in and they got me on a pain med to get my pain under control. It made me sick. So I went to a lady that does acupuncture, and she wasn't weird or mysticism or anything like that, but she did this cupping that they did on Michael Phelps on my back with flames and getting the blood circulating in my back again, and it helped. It's really, it started me on that journey back to, but still I had a long way, lots of stretching, I went to my chiropractor, she, did a bunch of bone cracking, and then I also went to a massage therapist, and she worked that cartilage, So I went all three, bam, bam, bam. So you can do that when you're debt free, and you have money for emergencies, things that come up like that. So it brings clarity. One minute you can be going gangbusters, and the next minute you can be flat on your back. And although my back does not like me laying on my back right now. It likes me laying on my side to side. And I stretch and I stretch and I stretch. And I do all kinds of physical therapy exercises right now. And still, man, that back injury is taking a while to heal. I'm 2 weeks into it and I'm still not 100%. I'm about 8 out of 10 right now. So what other things did it bring to focus? I'm going to have to retire one day. I'm going to be disabled more likely than I'm going to die. Probably going to be disabled by something like that. Might have been disabled by this. There might be an injury in there that I don't even know is there. And this just happened with an art teacher, a friend of mine. He had a a fractured vertebrae in there. And during the day he was fine, but as there's like a sac in there where it gets compressed during the day and loses fluid. You get more pain as you stand during the day or sit on a hard bench or whatever. And he had to retire this year, and it wasn't because he wanted to. It was because his body was starting to wear out. So if you're one of these people that's saying, I'm going to retire at 70, go and look in the mirror and slap yourself really hard. Because you're crazy. I'm in my late 40s here. I took a wrong step. And I thought, man, am I ever going to get out of this bed? I mean, you move this way, pain. You move that way, pain. You try to do anything and you're in intense pain. So I realized I'm not going to be able to load risers into the 87 Toyota pickup. I'm not going to be able to grab things. I might be able to sit on a piano bench coming up, probably even in 10 years. I'm going to really start looking at retiring. It's just because I'm going to have to spend more time taking care of myself. And when you're working really hard on a job, you don't take as good a care of yourself as you would like. When you're sitting there teaching private voice lessons, you're sitting there playing the piano all day, banging out parts for kids as they sing. You're not thinking about what it's doing to your back. You're not thinking about what it's doing to your hands. And you wear out, just like any machine. So, pain brings focus. Pain brings clarity. I will retire. The earlier, the better. Because if I would have made this bad step while I was in school, right now I'd been out of school for 2 weeks. I'm just functional now. I mean, I was still in pain a couple of nights ago, and working it and massaging it and doing exercises and stretching and putting my feet up against the door and stretching and working my core, and still I'm not 100%. And so that's how long it takes. In my 20s, it probably would have taken me a few days. In my 30s, it might have taken a week. Now in my late 40s, it's taken me 1.5 to 2 weeks to get functional. I would have been out of school. I would have been, if I'd have. And so my wife was like, it's fortunate it happened now. And I agree. It's very fortunate. So we're also going to talk about today a couple of other things. We're going to talk about a recession is coming. I'll talk to you about what a bubble is. People talk about a recession and bubbles, and I'll just kind of give you a simplistic view of how I understand it. And those of you that know more about it can correct me in the comments below. But I'll talk about a recession. It's on its way. We're way overdue for a correction. It's called a correction, but actually a bubble pops. And so we'll talk about that. And I want to talk about I bought a vehicle with cash. Talk about being debt-free again, what it opens up, what you're able to do, and why I bought another vehicle. And we'll talk about that coming at you. Take care, Music Man.